Hi, this is Ronnie with Everything Vive. I'm here at GDC 2018, and I'm speaking with Renee from Blueprint Reality. They're showing off a demo of Mixcast, and I figured I would let her kind of give her spiel and talk a little bit about what Mixcast is all about.
Hi, thanks so much for dropping by. So we're here with Mixcast, which is basically a mixed reality solution for capturing and broadcasting any kind of VR experience, application, whether it's education, games, training. We just want to help you show the best of your product.
Okay, very cool. So, take me through kind of what it's like to start up the software and kind of what it's capable of compared to, other things out there.
Yeah, sure. So it's designed to be super simple. We know that, if you're a teacher or you're a live streamer, you don't have the time to set up every single time. So it's a one-time setup. All you need is your VR setup, so your Vive, and then you have our Mixcast product. So there is a free trial version that people can check out, but we also have an SDK that people can integrate directly into their application.
Okay.
Really simple code that they can put in, and then that unlocks the full version that you see here. And then so you boot it up and you calibrate your camera in Mixcast.
Okay, so just to be clear, the hardware that you would be able to get to run with Mixcast is a camera that can actually, from what I can tell based on your booth, it looks like you set up the camera to cover the play area, and then it's able to bring up footage.
Totally, yeah. So it's designed to be used with as many different types of cameras as you have. Like we've got a DSLR here.
Okay.
We have an Intel RealSense camera there with the depth sensing.
Okay.
You can just boot it right up, make sure that it's positioned properly. If you want to put a tracker on there, a Vive tracker, it'll track as well, so you can get those cool dynamic shots.
Sure.
But basically, we want it to be able to track your movement, track your hands and your head in VR, and then translate that into basically a composited mixed reality capture of you. So your person in real life, that's you. It's not a character, it's not a cartoon avatar, and the virtual world that you're in, so that people can look at that and they can see what it is that you're looking at, and maybe even something behind you can't see. It's just, it translates that experience so much better.
Yeah, because I was going to say, one of the kind of obstacles of getting new people into VR is unless you've tried it, you don't really know exactly what it's like to have that experience. And it looks like Mixcast does a really great job of showing people what it kind of feels like to be immersed in a virtual space.
Absolutely, and that's our aim. Like, we know that it's so difficult. Everyone says you have to experience it to know, right? Like, it's not enough to watch a YouTube video, but we want to help people bridge that gap just a little bit easier and see, no, like, this is what's happening for this person. You are seeing what they are seeing, and you're experiencing it with them and connecting to them as a person as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for speaking with me.
No worries.
It looks like a product that I'm really interested in, and we're really interested in using for our own purposes at Everything Vive. Where can, if anyone's interested in learning more or being able to get involved with Mixcast, what's the best way to get the software? What's the best way to reach out to you guys?
Sure. So they can go to mixcast.me.
Okay.
So Mixcast.me, and you can download the free version directly from there. You can get in touch with us about the different product packages that we offer, depending on whether you're a streamer, a developer. We help everyone. And then also follow us at Blueprint Reality on Twitter. There's no I in the print because we ran out of characters.
Fair enough.
It's like Blueprint Reality. I would just recommend people follow us to check out our upcoming 2.0 release, which is actually coming up in April, which will feature green screenless capture, which is what we're demoing here today. So
awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
Sounds awesome.
Hello, everyone. This is Ronnie here from Everything Vive at GDC 2018. I'm here with John Hamilton. He's CEO of Unlimited. I just checked out a demo that they're running here at GDC for a pilot episode of a project they're putting together called Trinity.
Yeah.
And if you could give me a little bit more details, John, on kind of what you guys are showing off here at GDC.
Yeah, well, Trinity is a high-end live-action cinematic interactive narrative VR series that we're producing, and we're showing the pilot episode here at GDC for the first time.
Okay, perfect.
VRDC, I guess I should say.
Yeah, so I mean, I spent a brief few minutes watching the pilot and kind of getting a sense of kind of what you guys are up to. And actually, something that really fascinated me about what you guys are doing is compared to most of the 3D VR experiences that are out there, it's kind of a mix between, as far as I could tell, a mix between filmed cinema and actual like a game engine, like particle effects, gameplay to make you feel like you're a part of the footage rather than just being a lot of times you see these like fisheye lens kind of experiences that especially in the headsets currently aren't super high resolution, so you don't feel. I was actually really like the subtle things like looking up and with the rain coming down, even though I'm in a 3D video essentially, raindrops are hitting my face and I really, it adds quite a bit to feel like you're actually part of that experience. So I don't know if you could talk a little bit about what you guys are doing to try to separate what you're doing with Trinity compared to, the early attempts of 3D, of 360 VR stuff out there.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this for about 3 years now, and we started, our background really is in, film production.
Okay.
And we also have a couple of our partners also worked in building 3D camera systems for 3D cinema.
Okay.
So the idea of Unlimited really was to start our company and work at the sort of highest level of cinematic VR possible.
Yeah.
So we set the benchmark pretty high for what we wanted to produce. But basically the idea for all of the interactivity, or what we like to call reactivity, was really to immerse people much more into the story.
Okay.
And as you said, for instance, you're in a live action sort of 360 environment, that looks great and there's lots of visual effects in it. But then when you look up, you'll see raindrops falling on your mask, which you can actually shake off if you wanted to as well.
Okay.
They would actually come off as raindrops.
Wow.
So it was little bits and pieces like that where we really tried to give people much more immersion into the story, to actually make them really feel like they're there. As opposed to anything that's using game controllers, or everything is gaze based.
Okay.
So we tried to avoid using game controllers or any other type of sort of mechanics that would make people feel that they're in a game that actually takes them out of the story.
Okay.
So that was really the goal.
Yeah, no, because like I said, I was actually really surprised and really like amazed at how it kind of for me personally, I'm usually a guy that likes the game side of VR more because I feel like like you said, the environment's reacting to me. It knows I'm there, and that feedback back and forth makes it feel realistic.
Yes.
And this is the first time I've tried a 360 VR experience where I was getting those same type of feelings. So
wow, that's great, Ronnie. Thank you. Well,
yeah.
That's sort of our goal. Our goal is really to apply everything that we're learning doing sort of narrative interactive VR and actually bringing in more gameplay in a really sort of subtle way. And I really do believe that what we're doing and what so many of the amazing game developers are doing, I really believe we're sort of on a crash course that we're slowly going to meet. Yeah. And I think a lot of the stuff that we're developing, I think, can be integrated into games. And of course, a lot of the stuff that amazing stuff that gamers are doing, we want to bring into sort of what we're doing as well.
Sure. Okay. Well, if you could just let everybody know kind of when Trinity is going to be released, how they can eventually try it for themselves, and then what's the best way that they can kind of keep up with what you guys are up to.
Sure. Well, you can follow us. You can actually follow us with Unity, because we're one of the featured projects and made with Unity. And hopefully will be released within the next 3 to 4 months.
Perfect.
The pilot episode. And then we're not 100% sure which platform. It'll be either Vive or some of those other platforms.
Sure.
But people should be able to see it by the summer for sure.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we look forward to seeing Trinity's release.
Awesome. My pleasure, Ronnie. Thank you.
Hello, this is Ronnie Farhat with Everything Vive. I'm here at GDC 2018 with Valentine. She's a producer at Illogika. Valentine, it's great to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Ronnie.
Yeah, and so I'm kind of here just to talk. I know that Illogika is a Montreal-based game studio. I know you guys have worked in VR. I'm just kind of interested in kind of some of the projects that you've worked on in the past. Maybe some stuff that you're working on now, and just generally what Illogika is all about.
Okay, well, yeah, so you got it right. Illogika is a Montreal-based studio, so we've done quite a bit of projects in VR. We started with doing more Gear VR projects, so mobile. The first really kind of big project we did was porting Hitman Go, the mobile game, to the Gear VR and optimizing the experience for that. Obviously, a game in VR is very different from mobile, so we had to do quite a bit of adaptations to get Hitman Go be a smooth experience on the Gear VR with the interactions that are on there. That was a very interesting experience for us for learning the UX and UI of how to make everything function in VR.
Sure.
After that, we started focusing more on tethered experiences. So at Illogika, we're mainly a service studio, so we work with other companies. For example, Hitman Go VR was work we did with Square Enix Montreal. But we also do our own IPs and games like Siberia, which will be launching April 24th, 2018 out of early access.
And you guys must be excited about that, because that's your first new IP that you guys have developed.
Yeah.
So how's that process been?
It's been very interesting, kind of stressful at times because it's our first new IP. We have a lot of client projects as well to do at the same time as we're developing our IP, which is sometimes a challenge to manage. And it's been a challenge, but we're finally happy to release it to the world. And
okay, and in Siberia, is it? I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah.
Right? Is it a VR IP that you guys are developing?
Just
or?
on PC.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay. Very
with
cool.
More announcements to come for platforms very soon. So we do our own IP. Contract work, but we also do R&D. So every year, everyone has 4 weeks to work on their own ideas, whatever they want to do, and that is where a lot of our tethered VR projects have come out from. So right now, we've released 2 of those projects that are free on itch.io and soon to be free on Steam as well.
Okay.
Which is Flickblocks, which is a game heavily inspired by another game with cubes in it that you stack, except it's in 3D. So it's really a fun little contained experience that allows people to really get creative with how they use the cubes to succeed in the game.
Very cool.
And then we've taken a very big interest in locomotion in VR. So there's a lot of the teleporting, which has worked for people, but we wanted to experience something that felt a little bit more natural.
Sure.
So we tried to look at people moving by punching to give them, because we found that when someone is doing a movement to move, it makes them less sick than if they were, just like pressing a joystick or something.
Okay,
like that.
and I know like you kind of explained a little bit about how those projects start out.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals? Like when different people on your teams work on R&D projects, what are kind of the end goals of some of, like with these 2 demos in particular? What do you guys hope to get out of developing these ideas?
Well, it's like the first focus is really to give the people on our team an opportunity to explore something that they haven't tried before. So we're not necessarily looking like we have to have a game that's shippable at the end of this R&D. We just want people to get familiar with new tools, to get creative and be able to do things. So, for example, the Flickblocks game was made by someone was thought of by someone who's not a game designer. So he got the opportunity. He's an artist, actually. He got the opportunity to game design and think about a game he wanted to do. So it's really a focus on giving people that opportunity to do something different. And then if at the end there's something that's shippable and that we can actually use, that's great. But if it's not, that's totally fine.
And that's awesome with these demos in particular that you guys were able to offer them to people to try, and that must be really cool for them also and you guys to get feedback on some of the stuff you guys are working on.
Yeah, it's really awesome to be able to share something and then get feedback on it and see what works and what doesn't. Like, for example, the punching locomotion, that's something that, it's a demo that's out there, but we could use it in another game because we've seen some good feedback from it and people actually really think it's something that works.
Very cool. Well, I guess going back a little bit to the Hitman Go and Lara Croft Go VR ports that you guys worked on.
It was just Hitman Go.
Okay,
Yeah.
Just Hitman Go.
Yeah.
Okay, just to clarify. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
So for Hitman Go in VR, how did you guys did you guys approach? Did you want to make that title into VR, and that's kind of how that project came about, or how did that process work for you guys?
Yeah, it was really Square Enix that had an interest to take the game and bring it to VR. Gear VR was pretty new at the time, so they kind of wanted to experiment with the platform as well and get a title on there. So they really are the ones who approached us, and we really wanted to take on a challenge of design for VR of a game that was not made like that. But what was really nice with Hitman Go, I don't know if you're familiar with the game, but it plays, it has the look of a board game, and it plays like a board game. So we were able to kind of adapt it pretty easily to have, the board in front of you and be able to look around it in VR.
Very cool. Very cool. And so did that kind of inspire you guys to work on VR from that point, or had you guys done a lot of VR work before doing that part, or?
No, that was really our first foray. So it was, it really gave us an idea of what we can do with VR and the opportunities that are there.
Sure.
But we were kind of, limited with Gear VR hardware because you can't run that many games on there that are, you can run mobile on there. That's pretty much it. So we really wanted to try tethered and try something that's, a little bit of richer visual experience and game experience.
Okay, awesome. Well, I guess what's the best way for people that are interested in the work that Illogika is doing to kind of keep track of what you're up to, and also to reach out and contact you?
So our Facebook page is like the best place you can go. It's facebook.com/Illogika, or you can find it on our website, illogika.com, and it's spelled ILLOGIKA. So people know. Sometimes it's hard to hear it, but yeah, that's the best way to keep in touch. We update everything pretty often.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. I definitely look forward to to seeing where the projects that you guys are working on go, and where your future work, hopefully in VR, continues to go. And with that, let's keep in touch.
Thanks.